should you buy a new car or should you buy a used car? That's the question. Now, hopefully, I can maybe help you with some suggestions or some thoughts. Maybe you haven't thought of some of these things, maybe you have. If it helps in any way, then hey, it helps you. New car, used car. What's the benefits and the negatives? Well, it's pretty simple, really. New car. Well, for starters, what a lot of people enjoy is getting that new car smell, that new car everything, the muffler, the lights, the horn, the seats, the gauges, everything is brand new. The new car experience. I mean, a lot of people like that. I do too. That's one of the good things to think of right off the bat. Secondly, reliability. I mean, today's cars are very reliable. No problem. Jump in them, drive across country, no problem. Yeah, there's always a lemon or minor issues here and there, but warranty covers that. Reliability is real strong in today's cars. And you know, we're talking about your average cars here. We're not talking about, this video is not about Bentleys and Rolls and Lambos. It's not about the latest 800 horsepower muscle car, which them sell for over MSRP. It's not talking about your classic cars, because those are always a good buy. This is your basic Jeeps, F-150s, Chryslers, Rams, GMCs, Toyota, Honda, Volkswagen, Chevrolet, your average vehicles that you see every day. Now, after reliability, of course, comes that warranty. Very important. Means you don't pay for a single thing except for your maintenance items for 3, 5, even longer years. That's good. You don't have a $1,400 transmission repair or an $800 air conditioner repair. It's all covered. Also, something some people don't think about is roadside assistance. Roadside assistance will tow your car should it need towed. It'll come out and change the flat with your spare. It'll provide some gas if you're out of gas, lockout service, battery jump. That's usually included too. If you don't have it and you need a tow, bust out another 100 or two. And the next ones are really kind of important. Technology, if you're into that, think about, well, the easiest way to think about that, look at your cell phones in 2007 versus 2017. See the technology change? Heck, for that fact, just look at your cell phones in 2012, 13 compared to today. The technology is way, way greater in cars. They're connected in every way imaginable. So you get a lot of good new technology. Fuel efficiency. If you compare today's vehicles to their counterparts 7, 8, 10 years ago, they've made them lighter, they've made them more fuel efficient, more environmentally friendly, because they've had emissions and smogs they had to comply with. So the fuel efficiency is better in today's cars. And then safety. I mean, they've come a long way. I mean, you've got cars now that's got, 10, 15, 20 airbags in them, knee bolsters, extra crumple zones, stronger cross bracing. It's just incredible on the safety aspects, rollover. It's just all kinds of safety things. And lastly, on the reasons to buy a new car is its history. You know what happened to it. You know what went wrong, what didn't go wrong. You know how it sounds, what it does, what it doesn't do. You know the full history of it. You know, just like you know the history of your child. You know, you raise them, and you know when they went to school, when they went to kindergarten, when they had their shots. Same thing. There's a history, and that's worth some money too. You should resell it sometime, knowing the history of a vehicle. Now the downside, there's really only a couple things. One is the cost of a new vehicle. I mean, you know, new vehicles today, well, some of the fully loaded trucks can easily topple 60, 70 grand. But most of your cars are in the 30s, 40s. You can go down as low as the 20s. So the cost to buy a new vehicle is pretty high out there. Another problem is depreciation. That's not really as bad as some people make it out to be, because you are paying for the new car. What I mean by that is you got to buy right. If you didn't buy right, your depreciation will be 30-40% in the first year. If you bought right, you'll keep it under 15. And by that I mean, don't allow yourself to get put into a bind from a dealer where they're telling you they've got something called Red Alert, rim protection, fabric protection, paint protection, paint polish, this and that, all those things on the addendum sticker. That's just absolutely wasted money. That can run $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 with all the so-called extras they add on. Some dealers do that routinely. Don't buy that, because you won't get a penny of that back, and it's worthless to begin with, trust me. Secondly, go on the manufacturer's website and see what offers are available for you for rebates and incentives. You know, there could be a straight up $2,000 offer. There could be an end of season, another $1,000. There could be a military discount. You know, there can be a spring discount. You can often get $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, sometimes even up to $10,000, depending on the model, of incentives. As long as you know what they are, when you get to the dealership, you're going to know, okay, I'm supposed to have about $3,000 in discounts. And that's off the MSRP. If the MSRP is $30,000, you're getting out the door for $27,000. Again, we're not counting taxes and nothing here. If a guy across the street bought the exact same vehicle, exactly the same, he got out the door at $34,000 because they added all this stuff on and said he needed it and he had to have it. And by the way, dock fees are not required by law, so don't pay them. Some dealers add $700-800 on for that. There you go. You know, now your $30,000 car is $34,000. So as soon as you drive off the lot, 1 second after you've drove off the lot, you've just lost that $4,000 to $5,000 out of your pocket on all that extra garbage. So yeah, you're going to lose 30%, and hopefully that's all if you go adding all that stuff. Don't do it. Get out of the door, get your rebates. You don't want no extras added on. Know what your rebates are. Maybe check Edmunds, TrueCar, Google. There's several different places you can check to see what you should be paying for that vehicle. And again, your only concern is the price of the vehicle, none of the extra crap. And you can get a good average of what people are paying, and you need to go in armed with that information. And if it don't work out for you, don't be afraid to walk out. When you're talking new cars, you know, there's tons of them that are exactly identical. You know, so you can cut your depreciation way down by not paying too much, getting your proper discounts and incentives, not buying the extra garbage, not paying a dock fee. All that is savings to you. All that means is that you're no longer losing as much depreciation. But you can expect maybe 15% the first year, depending on the model. That's the unseen deal here. Popular models, as long as you don't trash them and crash them, just use them average, you'll be okay. with about 15% in the depreciation. And another negative is, of course, tags and insurance costs more on a new car than they do a used car. So you're going to pay more for that. That's really the only negatives on buying a new car. Now, the advantages to buying a used car is going to be less depreciation. I mean, you've let whoever owned it first take the biggest hit. In the first 3 years is the biggest depreciation. So a lot of the depreciation's already gone. You know, if you buy a 4 or 5 year old car, a lot of it's gone. If you buy an 8, 9 year old car, it's pretty much gone completely. So you pay, or you take less of a loss with depreciation. And if you're buying a used car, you're going to save, you know, again, I can't give you an exact number because it could be any type of a car. But if you're buying a used car, you're obviously going to pay less. You're going to save thousands because you're not buying new. You're buying used. So all that adds up and makes a big difference. Another thing, you can often get into a much better, much more luxurious, much more option car if you buy one that's used, because it can be in your budget because it is used. So you can get more car for less money. Another option I've seen people do, they'll buy a car that's about 3 years old, maybe 4 years old, one that's about ready to go out of warranty but's not, and they might buy a 2 or 3 year extended warranty. Make sure if you do that, it is a manufacturer issued warranty, not some third party. So if you buy a Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram, make sure it's a Mopar warranty. If you buy a Ford, make sure it's a Ford. And negotiate that price just before you're ready to close. You got your best price, you're ready to close, everything's done, and say, oh, wait a minute, the warranty bothers me. And you toss that in too. They may not toss it in, but you should know what they cost. Again, look online, look on the manufacturer's websites, and they pretty much list that. And maybe you can get it for half price if you're concerned about it. That's a way of still getting a 3-year warranty on a 3 or 4 year old car and saving a lot of money. I'm not a big fan of extended warranties, but if you're going to get it, make sure it is a factory warranty. You're going to pay less insurance and less on your tags. So there's the advantages. Really, it's just a money game on advantages to buying used over new. I still prefer new, but that's just me. And I've got friends and people that have bought used, and there's not a single thing wrong with that. That saves a lot of money. Just so you know what you're getting into. Which brings me to the downside of used cars. Number one, reliability. You don't know if it's had an engine issue. You don't know if it's got an electrical fault that the owners finally got tired of and just traded it in, and it only shows up here and there. Well, if it shows up when you bought it, you're out $125 an hour until a technician can figure it out. And then how much for the parts? There's a lot of risk in used cars. You know, you really got to know what you're doing. You really need to have them checked over, especially if you're going to use it for long distances. If you're just around town, it's not quite as important because you can't get stranded too bad. I do recommend having roadside assistance. If you buy a used car, you can buy that through AAA or your insurance company or something. It's cheap. But there are risks involved with buying used, and you know, you need to understand those. You know, besides the unknown, the history, try to get one that's a one owner. That's not always going to be possible, but if it is possible, and you know, check the car facts reports and all that stuff. But besides the reliability issue, you're going to have no real warranty, and you're going to spend more probably on maintenance. You know, 60,000 mile maintenance, 90,000 mile maintenance. If you're a mechanically inclined person, you can save a ton buying used and doing your own maintenance. That will make it much more attractive for you. So, you know, there's your negatives to used. And anyway, well, I hope it helped. I hope you got something out of it. And I appreciate you watching and sharing and subscribing and all that stuff. So good luck. New or used, your choice. There's some things to think about. Everybody have a great day.